Good morning, everybody. It's 2nd of December, not far to Christmas, and I don't know how you describe it here. It's like summer. I'm still out in the on the balcony, so hopefully the traffic's okay, and you can hear me. Big day yesterday. Kerry's arrival. Big morning. We didn't get much sleep. It was sort of this is typical for Cape Town. I think I mentioned it. If you follow the live, there's a big wind shadow here, and it gets extreme when there's light winds. But even when there's a solid breeze coming around the bottom here, the 300 metres offshore is just like nothing. And Kerry had virtually no breeze. It wasn't so much the close in wind shadow, it was just drifting. And, we thought he was going to get air at 3 o'clock in the morning, and then it was 4 o'clock. And the horrible part about arrivals like that, we do it all the time with all our events here, with the GGR and the OGR. It's really dangerous to sort of plan an ETA because they can be only 6 miles away, and you think it's going to take them another 4 hours. But if the wind just rolls over and drops in, they can do it in an hour. So you can't afford to go to sleep. You've got to watch. It's like being on watch on a boat, Anyway, but it came in and it was great and a beautiful day, and we were busy all day, sorting out and working with Joshua at the MOSSEL waterfront here. It's all good. Got some fun stuff planned, and made a quick trip to the yacht club, catch up with Kerry there. There's two Kerrys. There's Kerry arrived, and Kerry's our contact at the Royal Cape Yacht Club. She's really great, fantastic lady. And yeah, the day just disappeared. So now we've got Jasmin and ERTAN out there. Just quickly while we're waiting for a few people, and there's not a lot to talk about, but nonetheless, it's sort of interesting. Little B. Unbeknown to me, and I'm not a poet, he's organised a ship it from Vuda Marina in Fiji back to Portugal. So I'm not sure of the ETA. I don't think it's there yet. I think they've probably just packed up the container and it's on its way. So that's a deal because the boat will be in Portugal and at the marina there in Lagos. So it's all ready to go for the Tasman or the next MGR. And I've got to say, the next MGR, people are saying it more often than me, but it's ramping up in really interesting ways. He's creating a lot of interest with builders and sailors and bits and pieces, no matter whether they've been Grand Prix races in super hot carbon fibre flyers, and all of a sudden say, what? Little plywood boat around the world? So anyway, you're not looking at me. Sorry about the traffic, but it's too nice to be inside. Anyway, Captain Coconut arrived in Richards Bay, which is 100-something miles north of Durban, it's a fair bit north of Durban. But he's there. He's happy to be there. Jill, and they're going to leave the boat somewhere on the African coast and bugger off for a while. Sales, that's the biggest discussion point right now. We've already had a couple of sailmakers contact us about offering to lend a hand and so on. And so that's going to be a discussion point. We've got 8,000 miles to go, and some of the material is getting a bit iffy. And Jasmin. Now, this is Robben Island out here. I think I've mentioned it before. I don't know whether you can see that. There's a little island just to the right of that palm there, or in between the two palms. That's called Robben Island. It's a fair way offshore. And I got a whisper that she might be going to swim that. I think she might have mentioned it before. Swim from here over there, fight through all the white pointer sharks, all that sort of stuff, white tip sharks. Great whites, all that stuff. But anyway, that'll be fun to see. And I got down here in 1990, and I was blown away because it was only about the island. We went out to the island. It was only 6 years before that Mandela actually got off the island. It's an amazing story, and basically it was a different place here in 1990. It was still beautiful. We saw a lot, impacted a lot. I mean, Mandela was there for 18 years, and he was allowed one visitor a year for 30 minutes, and I forget how many letters he could write. I think it was only about one letter a year he was able to write. Boy, it's classic. And now you interact with the well, they call it, it's not, I find it hard to call the locals the black South Africans, but that's one of the terms they use, and they're all very proud of their country, and it's all very interesting. And of course, Australia, the Europeans still have a big presence here in Cape Town, but boy, you can see they're the black, local population are proud of their place, and they're all super friendly. I've got to tell you, every time you see a black guy, it's not like the Caribbean or anything. I've not spent a lot of time there, but I've got to say, the locals are super friendly everywhere. So, but a very interesting place. I always like it. Here you can see the reflection on that side. There's the blue again. Beautiful summer. So good to be here, and I'm sure everyone's going to continue having their South African fun. Okay, and let's just go to the tracker and show you what's happened. ERTAN's rung up a couple of times. You're on the tracker. Now I'm going to the tracker and sending messages. Hang on a sec. Wrong one. Here we go. Okay, you're on the tracker too. I mean, you're on the tracker and I should be there and you should be hearing me. Anyway, they've had very light winds, been making very slow progress, but not good if you're racing. Jazz likes keeping the performance up, which is okay, keen to get going. And they've had a very quiet run. They've only been doing, 2-3 knots, all the rest of it. And right now, Jazz is doing 1.4, drifting along, and ERTAN's doing 2.2. So he's pulled away a bit, but it's been cat and mouse. ERTAN parked for a while, Jasmin caught up, and then they're slipping back and so on. And I had a big chat with ERTAN this morning talking about life. And he was kicked back, just said, oh, gee, this is slow. He wants to get here. ERTAN's going to pull his boat out as soon as he gets here. Got to do the bottom, but he's also got to fly back home for personal reasons. So he's keen to get here. Jazz is just doing what she does. So 1.4 did 69 mile day. That's not too bad. And ERTAN did 68 mile day. The others haven't left yet. They're all sitting there waiting for the breeze to fill in so they can do their fastest possible time. So all we're going to do now is just look at the weather forecast for the next couple of days. I won't even worry about showing you the big forecast. We'll just look at what's likely to take place. I'll push it through. First of all, current. I'll show you the current. As you've seen, some favourable current, but not huge. It's not negative current, so you can see there they're picking up the last little bit around the corner, past False Bay there and around into Cape Town. And the others, you don't get any help along the bottom here. But that's fine. It's not against you. So, okay, here we go with the wind every few hours. Not clicking in. Hang on. Here we go. Yep. So they've got the breeze sometime this afternoon from MOSSEL Bay, so I reckon you'll see them take off. And ERTAN and Jasmin are both going to have the breeze. That's in the next 6 hours. And that'll keep them going, and then it's going to fill in quite strong. The guys at the back are not as strong as ERTAN and Jasmin. They're going to have a big day today. So this is by 7:30. By 7:30 they're really starting to move, and then they've got plenty of breeze again until they get down. But for the guys at the back, it's just consistent, nice sailing. Okay, and then this is tomorrow morning. So that's in the first 24 hours. Okay, so in the first 24 hours, I think you'll see the fleet here. They'll be doing 110 miles, maybe, something like that. They'll be still hanging on to this nice breeze. They wouldn't want to lag behind, and then they'll probably ride that back. Now for Jasmin, and let's just say for Jasmin, oh, hang on, we can move it out from here. They've got distance to the finish 79 miles. I think they'll probably average 5 knots. So that's because they'll go slow for the next 3 hours, and then the next 3 hours they'll speed up a bit, but then they'll go fast again. They'll be doing 6s and so on around the corner with plenty of sea, and the sea will build up really quickly. So if they were doing, say, average 5, not quite as 80, it's 8 hours, 16 hours from now, and it's now 10 o'clock. They're going to come in the early hours of the morning, but they'll slow down at the end. Here we go again. So 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Yeah, I think we'll see them maybe at dawn tomorrow. Maybe a bit earlier. Just depends. And we'll go through for the second 24 hours. So if these guys are, say, 110, they'll be about there on that longitude line. So we'll get rid of that. We'll hit that. So then slowly kicking through. Here we go. So they're going to sail right into plenty of breeze there. The rest of the fleet. So it'll be a very fast second day. Pushing through. So there's the wind on. That's the second 24 hours, and they would be in by then because it's about another 100 and some miles. But again, you'll see I'll do a close up there in a sec. So from there to there, 107, and 120 miles. Yeah, they'll be in the first 24 hours there, so they're afternoon. So that's after the second day. Oh, they're leaving later. Right, so they're still going at that stage. So it's not, they didn't leave this morning. So there's one day they're there. So yeah, it'll be pretty quick. Anyway, pretty quick. Yeah, I'll still maintain that. So it's going to be a couple of days for everyone out of MOSSEL Bay. And just to give you an idea, show you what's happening up close and personal when they get to the headland, around the corner. Once they go past False Bay, and they're heading in towards Cape Town, you'll see what happens to the local breeze. That's probably big enough. Okay, so I'm going to push that through every 3 hours again till tomorrow morning. You can see the wind, plenty of breeze on the point here. There'll be big seas there. Kerry was getting set up to 7-metre swells. That's at different times coming around the last couple of days. Those 7-metre swells were hills, what I call hills and valleys. Right, it's not the waves. It's big, wide open, up and over and down again. So don't think it's 7-metre breaking seas. But then he had seas on top of that, and then the swell dropped back to about 5 metres and stuff, and 4 metres, and you get around the corner, the swell drops off. But the wind also goes very quiet, and that's pretty normal. So that's in the first, over the next day. There's the first day. So you see there was little wind in the morning, and then there's plenty of breeze there kicking in. There's virtually no wind just there, and at that stage, but then it's come back again. So yeah, a couple of days, no surprises, but I think they'll all be surprised at the sea down there because you really are in the Southern Ocean. So let's wait and see what happens, no pun intended. Okay, I think that's all. I'll just check if we've got some reports. Yesterday was a YB3 day, so they've all been sending their messages from the YB3, checking in they know how to do it and all that sort of stuff. So that's kind of cool. And then where's the entrant reports? No. There we go. Entrant reports. What have we got here? Sunday. Nope, we've got no entrant reports. So no reports. They're all having too much of a good time in MOSSEL Bay. Anyway, okay, that's it. So we'll follow you through, and you expect to see something happening early tomorrow morning. You can follow the tracker, the finish line's there, and we'll work out the finish times when we get all the results ourselves and then compare them to the results of entrants. And then we're actually going to, anyway, we'll talk about that later. Anyway, so have a good day, and we'll see you tomorrow morning early probably for the arrival of ERTAN and then Jasmin. Okay, see you later. Oh, hang on. There's a couple of comments there. Oh, I nearly ditched it before. G'day, Mike and Day. Hi from San Diego. G'day, Craig. Christy. I think that was all. No problem. Okay, see ya.